The idea of PLCs in education have become popular, especially with DeForest publications. We are going to answer some questions presented by our cohort colleagues. Will PLCs last? What happens if a PLC is not functioning? We will also point out some of the key characteristics of PLCs. Some of our cohort colleagues have mentioned concerns of this being just another educational fad that will come and go and be replaced by something else. Every 2 or 3 years it seems that there is the latest and greatest thing. So will PLCs last? According to the National Academy for Academic Leadership, as leaders we have to determine what type of change is necessary in our schools. Probably the reason that so many teachers, our colleagues included, are discouraged with the implementation of PLCs is that administrators try to implement them using first-order change. They treat PLCs like the latest and greatest thing instead of something they want to stick. First-order change is reversible and new learning is not required. The old story can still be told. Second-order change involves a transition or the transformation in the school. It is the type of change that leadership gets the entire staff on board with. Like we talked about in Gary Radigan's class, Site-Level Leadership, second-order change is made when a leader takes on an initiative, and that initiative lasts, even when the leader leaves. In order for PLCs to work, they have to be implemented as a second-order change. If we want teachers to experience new learning and use each other as resources, we have to make an irreversible, can't-go-back change with PLCs. So let's review the key characteristics of PLCs. According to DeForest's description of effective PLCs, the goals of PLCs are to focus on students, collaborate among staff, and increase professional knowledge. There has to be buy-in from participants to understand the value of PLCs. Once the participants have bought into the idea of PLCs, they will have to set a purpose and create the right environment. PLCs will not be optional, and every participant will have a role. While administrators will be part of the PLC, they will be team members instead of always the leader. In order for a PLC group to become beneficial, according to Vecchio, it is important to set values and norms. These values and norms should be created and agreed upon by the group. PLCs should not remain stagnant. The PLC will change and develop based on who makes up the team. The whole goal of implementing PLCs should be for the students to improve their skills. Any initiative done in school, whether building new buildings, hiring teachers, or developing or adopting new programs, should be done in order to improve student learning and therefore should be the work of the PLC. It is time teachers start to work together as a team and not as individuals locked up in their own classrooms teaching their own students. We must break down existing barriers and work together for common purposes. According to Vecchio, teachers who participated on teams or in small communities that focused on instructional practice reported changes in instructional culture. PLCs should support deprivatization of practice and less teacher autonomy. Teachers working in isolation will not accomplish as much for their students. Teachers should also work together to increase their professional knowledge. That can come from colleagues sharing and reflecting on experiences, book studies as a group, attending conferences, and having guest speakers come in. Team members work together to share their learned skills and expertise knowledge. Many of our colleagues talked about how they had done a book study of DeForest PLCs at work. You can't rely only on a book study. There has to be proper implementation, including teacher buy-in and participation. If the PLC is not functioning as well as it could be, then work needs to be done to fix it. So what if your PLC is not working? What if you're not getting the results you intended to get? What if teachers are not playing their part? Fix it. Make it work instead of scrapping it as another fad. Find the people in your staff who want to lead and want to be part of the culture change. Effective leaders will get people to follow them. A local principal said that the most important part of her job is hiring the right people. So when the opportunity presents itself, hire people who share the same passion for PLCs as you do. DeForest stated in 2004, "Yet, using the term PLC does not demonstrate that a learning community does in fact exist." He goes on to further caution, "The term has been used so much that it is in danger of losing all meaning. We tend to take new ideas sometimes and run them into the ground." We need to remember the focus, student learning. If we keep results at the forefront of PLC meetings and continue to strive for increased student achievement, PLCs will be effective. It doesn't matter what the group is called as long as the purpose remains. According to Vesio, PLCs can go by many names: teacher communities, teacher and learner communities, critical friends groups, communities of practice, and from our cohort, teacher-led teams, or TLTs. As long as your focus in your groups consists of collaboration, increased professional knowledge, and most importantly, enhancing student achievement, then it really does not matter what you call your PLC. PLCs run the risk of becoming the latest educational fad if they are not implemented correctly and with fidelity.